Hey, what's up YouTube? Mario here from Little Ladies up against Wholesome and 108 Slackers. This one's going to be an interesting siege. Shout out to my boy Moyster from 108 Slackers. Let's jump into it. Now for the first attack, we're going to hit this Carcano, Iris, and Triana. It's been a while since I've seen one, I think. We're going to go with Tractor, Windy, Lulu. You just want to get rid of the Carcano, and honestly, it's a free win. I think worst case scenario, Lulu gets defense broken, and that Triana's on crit damage, procs killing the Lulu, and then it's a 2v3. But even then, I think Tractor Windy can win it because this offense is just too damn good. Dealing with Triana can be really annoying because she has that immunity and every time she procs, she heals up. Same thing with Iris. Every time she uses her passive, she'll heal up. So it makes it a little bit more annoying to kill the Carcano. But half his HP is destroyed. We get the finish on him and then we skip it for the win. Next up, we're going to hit this Kamoon Vigor Roid with Copper Dozer and Messity. I did put my fast set on Messity. I can't recall if this was MoysterOyster's defense, but he's an old guildie of mine. Shout out to you, Moyster, again. And I needed to make sure that I outsped him. Luckily, we did. We're going to take the first turn with the Copper. We're going to snipe the Vigor here. Nice. And then we're going to go for the Roid. He is doing some damage onto the Copper, but we should be able to snipe here with plus win on the Dozer. We do a good amount of damage, surprisingly, and we get the win. Next up, we're going to hit the Sierra, Orion, and Daphnis. This is the sketchiest match of all these matches. So I finally switched my Samath to Rage just to test it out. And I know a lot of people have been recommending to switch Iunu to Vampire, and I actually did. This was after this siege, I think. So watch what happens. We get sniped by the Daphnis. We don't really do much here. We're going to try to go for the kill onto the Daphnis. We do land the branding. Okay, Sierra almost gets rid of the Iunu. We snipe the Daphnis. Looks like we're alright. 3v2. Iunu's down. She bombs the Samath here. He's gonna come back, do some rage damage, right? Let's see how much damage. Of course he's gonna glance on her with 96 crit rate. Even if it was 100, he probably would have missed. We get the stun. And we gotta get rid of the Sierra ASAP. She's pretty low here. She's gonna go for the Samath. She's gonna bomb the Perna. She's gonna take another turn. We're gonna get stunned up. That Perna's going down to 2 bombs. Not like it really matters. She comes back to life. Full attack bar. Okay, we need to get rid of the Sierra ASAP here. We're gonna go for the skill 1. Just save it. We get stunned up. Heal blocked. This is not looking good. We don't stun up the Orion. The Orion is gonna 1v1 the Perna, dude. There's no fucking way. We glance again. Perna's gonna go down. Proc 1 HP. We get the stun. And we get the kill with the skill 2. Oh my god. So sketchy. Man, that was a clincher. We're going to hit this Molong, Eladro, and Perna next with Galleon, Tiana, Zyros. So hopefully we can land the defense breaks and the reset, especially onto the Eladro. We don't want him to get the revive off. Okay, of course we're going to resist. And we get the increase on him. Now this Molong is going to use skill 2, stuns up the Tiana. We should be fine though as long as we can kill this Eladro before he gets a res off. We're going to use skill 2. He's really tanky though. Can we get a pushback? Yes, we do. And we finish him off for the win. Next up, we're going to hit this Chandra, Lume, and Perna with the Double Bad Angel Snipe team. I did upgrade them a bit. Someone asked me if they can see the runes. Here are the runes that I'm using on my Claire. So for this slot, I'm actually going to grind out that HP for some attack. I just put it as a placeholder because I haven't really been farming for gems. Not really too much worth it. This one can be upgraded, honestly. This one's okay. I would have preferred if it had HP instead of defense. This one's really nice. And then we have this one. Pretty slow, but gets the job done. And then I also switched to artifacts, which honestly improved her damage quite a bit. And then next up, we're going to check out the Sonia's runes. Here are her runes. Pretty much same thing. Wish I could have gotten some HP percent on the first slot. A lot of crit damage in this one. And then that one I can grind out for attack as well. Again, not really interested in farming for grinds right now. Not too worth it, to be honest. So I did buff their attack and the crit damage a little bit. The artifacts made a pretty big difference. I've even thought about skilling them up just for the skill 2 to do a bit more damage. But is it honestly worth it to throw Devilmon into them? I don't think so. They do the job without them. But let's go ahead and jump into this one. I'm pretty sure this one was Moyster's defense as well. So we had to try to make sure to outspeed it. I did put a fast set onto the Praline. It's a really fast team. We're going to go for the snipe onto the Chandra first. We don't want to deal with the hug, attack bar boost, and everything. It took me a while to realize what I was going to do. I was like, do I go for the Lume or do I go for the Chandra? Chandra would be the smart move. And we should be able to snipe. We got Moyster in the chat. We get the snipe, and then we're gonna go for the Lume. We get the Lume. And after 3v1, we gotta pray that we don't lose to the Perna here. Skill 3 coming out. Pretty good damage. We get rid of the Perna with the skill 3. And we should be okay here. The Perna's not critting onto the Sonia, but she's taking a lot of turns. And we should be able to finish the Perna off with the Claire, since she's going to focus the Madeline. Stuns up the Madeline when we get the snipe for the win. Next up, we're going to hit this Clara, Savannah, Theo. We got Moyster again with a huge win rate. So we're going to go ahead and test it out with Feng Yan, Tetra, and Leo. Again, I'm sorry, Moist, but you're an old guildie. We got to test out your defenses because you are OP. Quick history lesson, how do I know Moist? Moist and I were in a guild called Carry 2.0. This was years back, and honestly, Moist has always been a siege demon. He would teach me how to siege. Shout out to Moist for all the help back in the day. And I hope you're doing it well now. We're going to go ahead and shield up the Leo. Luckily, so far, we're doing good. We get the defense break on the Theo. We're going to get stunned up here. But we should be fine. Okay, the Theo's going for the Tetra. Not too good. We don't want the Tetra to die. We're going to go for the Theo first anyways. Okay, we do get the Endure. We're going to try to put a dot on him. If we could get a dot on him, we should be fine. Okay, we get the dot on him. Theo's going to die to the dot. And we're just going to work on to the Clara. At this point, we could basically skip it because it's a GG. The Theo's going to die to the dot. And there's not really enough damage between the Clara and Savannah to worry about. This offense is super strong against this defense. Highly recommend it if you don't use it. Shout out to the person who showed me this team because I've been using it. It's been working very well and I can use my Aaliyah elsewhere. Speaking of Aaliyah, we're going to use her in this team with Feng Yan and Laika against Feng Yan, Wusa, and Laika. Why am I using this team? I just wanted to use Laika so you guys could see the transmog. I bought the transmog for all of them. Really nice transmogs. It's just I haven't really had a chance to use them. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and use skill 3 here. I should have just mirrored it so it could have been a battle of the Laika transmogs. I honestly really wanted to use an old school team that I would use against this team. Beyliger, Tion, Lucian. Boost up the Lucian, wipe 2 of the 3, and then you finish off the Laika with the Beyliger. Maybe we'll try it next time. It's been a while since I've used that team, and I think it's failed me the last time I used it. Just because the Laika I think was on Vio, actually, and that's how I lost. Okay, so we're doing good so far. We don't have too much to worry about, honestly, because we have immunity and the defense buff. Feng Yan's going to focus the Leah. She's pretty tanky. Laika's going to focus the Feng Yang. He's pretty tanky. And the Wusa is going to focus the Laika. He's not tanky, but he can take a lot of hits. We do have the defense break on the Wusa. We're going to try to get rid of the Wusa ASAP. Can we kill with skill 2 here? Yes, we do. And now it's a 3v2. At this point, we could probably skip it, but we're just going to let it play out. See how well it goes. Okay, we're going to go for the Laika first since we don't want to get defense broken by that Feng Yan. That can get a little bit sketchy. We're going to use skill 3 just to cleanse here. And he's going to defense break again anyways. We land the defense break. But can we cut in with the Laika? We're not going to be able to cut in. The attack bar is a little too low. We're going to use skill 2. Feng Yan to cleanse it. At this point, I wanted to test the damage of skill 2 onto Feng Yan with no defense break. Let's see how much damage we do. We did barely any damage. That buff to Feng Yan is pretty crazy, honestly. Even though he got buffed, I still don't see him really being a defense unit just because he can get double sniped pretty easily. Same thing with the Wusa. The only scary thing is that Laika. But if you bring in Copper Dozer, I think you could deal with it no problem. Especially if you can kill him before there's any immunity on him. And here we get to see his cool little animation for the win. Nice. GG's. We're going to go ahead and hit this Kamoon, Vigor, and Royd again. I think this one's also Moisters. We're going to hit it with a Malite, Vigor, and Lulu. Can be a little bit sketchy because that Royd can go off. But we'll see how this one goes. We are going to speed it up just because it was quite a long match. So we are going to put it at 4 times the speed. The sketchy thing is whenever we get defense broken like that by the Royd, that's when it gets really sketchy. There are some points in time where my water units do get pretty low. If the Royd and Vigor can get a combo off on one of the water units, it can be really sketchy. So it's important to try to keep immunity up as much as possible. Try to provoke them, hopefully. And right here, we go for the cleanse onto the Vigor, even though it's going really fast. So far, we're doing pretty good. We got them to about like half HP. The Vigor was really low, but he healed himself up. We almost lose our Vigor. We go ahead and cleanse that off. And at this point, we went from potentially winning the game to potentially losing the game. We almost lost the Vigor a couple times, and their HP is getting pretty low. So we got to make sure to try to get rid of them as soon as possible. We almost get rid of the Vigor. We get rid of him with the Lulu. And then it's a 2v3. And at this point, it's pretty much a GG's. And the Lulu finishes it off for the win. Now for this next one, we are going to hit this Dominic, Nora, and Molong. We're going to come into it with Covenant, Praline, and Bethany. We're going to go for the snipe onto the Dominic first, then the Nora, and leave the Molong for last. Hopefully it doesn't proc like crazy. Alright, so we are going to take the first turn even though we don't have the speed lead. We're going to go for the snipe onto the Dominic. See how much damage we do. Okay, like 70k. Then go for the Nora. How much damage do we do here? Like almost 60k. Still want to buff my Covenant damage a bit just in case. And then it's a 3v1 up against the Molong. I think he's on Vile, so we have to be careful with that. Okay, skill 2 coming out. He is actually on Vampire. Very interesting. He gets rid of the Covenant. Now it's a 2v1 and we should be able to finish off with skill 2. Not enough damage, but we do finish him off with the Praline for the win. Now for this next one, we are going to hit this Dominic, Manon, and Molly. You know I have to do it. We're going to come into it with Mirne, Tion, Lucian. I left my regular Dova set on there with the double fight just so we can do more damage. Let's see how this one turns out. Does the Manon parry the Platypus, everything? Hopefully not. Alright, so we're going to use a Mirne skill 3 here. And then we're going to boost up with the Dova. Let's see, can we wipe this clean? The Molly does survive it, but we should be okay at this point. As long as she doesn't focus the Lucian, we're going to use skill 2. We stun her up, and as long as she doesn't get rid of the Lucian, we should be fine. We do land the glancing on her. We're just going to go ahead and boost ourselves up. While this is playing in the background, I do have to say that this is probably one of the most fun sieges that I've done recently. Since like what, the G2, G3 siege video maybe like a couple months ago. Just really nice catching up with a Moyster and just chatting with everyone in the siege chat. That's honestly what it's about, just having fun. And all the good, chill, funny vibes. I hope we get more of these matches in the future because it was a blast to record this one. We're going to use skill 3 and we secure the win for the Tenno. Does anyone play Warframe? Because anytime I say that, I think of the Tenno, like the character. Here's the siege contribution. I was number 1 before the siege ended. Then the siege ended. We actually ended up winning the siege. Again, really fun. Shout out to Wholesome and 108 Slackers. And then after the siege, we have Dino Scam stealing the number 1 spot. Maggie in 2nd, Pure Knight in the 3rd. And last but not least, everyone's favorite part of the video. Destra actually got an LD scroll. Shout out to Desty, my bestie. Let's see, can we get anything good from here? No, we don't. We get some crystals and just a bunch of mana. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. If you don't mind, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.